Hi everyone, Chillax here, and welcome to part 6 to the 6-part series in which I go over how to build every single operator in Anchor Panic through version 1.5 for global. And as you can see before you, we have Dawalin, who is our only SSR nature operator, and we have 3 operators to talk about in total today. So let's go ahead and filter by element and let's begin. So as you can see, we only have 3 operators, and I have them all somewhat built at least, because when we go to the general challenge mode and go to subconscious deep seek, we do need to run 3 nature operators. As you can see, must deploy at least 3. So if you ended up getting a copy of Dawalin, which I know not many people did, but if you did, that allows you to actually tackle the stage. You essentially have your DPS, your the nature tank Dione is actually decent, and then just make Catalpa tanky enough to not die in one shot, and then run your traditional healer slash shielder and a tank slash DPS. And that's how I would have been able to clear all these floors. But anyways, I digress. So due to the limited roster of nature, you may end up needing to build all of them if you care about clearing all the PvE content in this game. So anyways, I digress. Let's start things off with Dawalin. And Dawalin, she's actually a very good operator. Her value is limited currently because she really wants to be in a nature team, and there's not many good teammates for her. There's no one who really buffs nature units at the moment. But nature as an element is decent because just with corrosion stacks, it automatically improves the damage output of your nature damage onto them. So I think this is a pretty unique part of nature as a whole. Now in terms of her skills, because she is a DPS, a striker, so you want to go 10 10 10 on her skills. One thing I do want to point out is that her targeting is very unique. Focus opposite. The only other good operator that has this targeting besides Dawalin is Rose. And for those of you PvP fanatics, you know how valuable focus opposite can be. Based on positioning, you can have Dawalin or you can have Rose target any position on the enemy side of the field with proper positioning of your own units. So very valuable in that regard. And then in terms of sigils, naturally you want her signature sigil because it even allows you to get extra energy. However, if you don't have that, it's perfectly fine. It is a clue here that her signature sigil has base attack, and this is especially important because the way Dawalin works is that she summons a deer, and I think you might see the deer in the background here. Yeah, the deer. So she's actually 2 units in one, because her deer spirit is actually a 6th unit, or I guess, yeah, a 6th operator, quote unquote, that has her own or his own turn order. And I believe the deer's attack is based off of base attack. I would imagine that would be the reason why her sigil is base attack. And so for this reason, you know, if you don't have this sigil, I would recommend just to maintain the theme to go with Guiding Beacon if you have it. But if you don't have Guiding Beacon, any of the other offensive SSR sigils like Falling Monolith, you know, Arrival of the Outsider, anyone that applies crit rate or crit damage is going to be pretty decent. Yeah, as you see here. So anyways, I digress. And then in terms of empower attributes, I would try to look for speed, nature damage, crit rate, crit damage, or defense penetration. Any of those 5 are going to be all right for her. And then naturally, because she is a striker, you're going to go 4-piece nature and 2-piece attack boost. But if you are having survivability issues with her, then I would swap this with 2-piece block chance. And then I mean, obviously I haven't done it yet, but make her as offensive as possible with, 6 level speed and as much crit rate and crit damage as possible, and everything else into attack and base attack. Okay, so I think that's about it for her. Yeah, and go 10, 10, 10. Oh, I always forget this. So you want to go speed, crit rate, and crit damage naturally. Okay, so moving on to the next one, it will be Dawn. Now, Dawn is a decent tank. The reason for, or defender, I guess you can say, the reason for that is because her energy burst applies a shield for the allies that scales off of her max HP, so that's an important clue there. And then she also boosts the defense of anyone in her surrounding vicinity, scaling off of her defense. So what did I say before? That scales off of defense, this scales off of max HP. So as such, depending on how many people you will benefit from the positioning from this, you may make her more defensive or more HP. It's up to you. Yeah, but it seems like 2 of her abilities scale off of her HP, and 1 of her abilities scale off of her defense. So she'll benefit from a lot of different stats. Now this is alphabet soup. I just slapped whatever I had on her, but ideally you would want 4-piece block rate and 2-piece of the HP. I think that would be ideal for her, since most of her kit scales off of HP. However, I think there is merit to, like in my case, I put defense as the final slot, because sometimes when you're farming, you'll get the defense of the level 6 models, but maybe you don't have anyone to use it on, but she can actually use it. So for number 6, I would go defense, and then go, I know it says crit rate here, this is alphabet soup once again, but I would go max HP for this slot, and I would go speed for this. I still think speed on all units is ideal, because at least you want them to move before the opponent does. Especially when applying a shield. You want the shields on before your allies get hit. And then I would go with speed, block chance, shield enhance, and anything else into HP and defense. She can use a lot of stats defensively. Yeah, and then for the sigils, I would go with the automated cultivation, because SR units don't have a signature sigil, because this provides base HP and she doesn't heal, and you're not really running her for damage. But I would just slap anyone on her, whatever you've got, because you might not have this one. And then I would go HP, defense, and speed, pretty much. Shield enhance is okay as well. Okay, and I think I talked about everything there. And then the final unit, honestly, I wouldn't really build her, because the nature units that are coming up are decent. For instance, I think there is a nature striker that will come out, and CN server just released their 5th healer operator, which happens to be nature, that will be coming out on December 10th for the CN server. So for this reason, there's no reason to heavily invest in her, unless you really want to push that one PvE stage that I mentioned, the Deep Seek. But yeah, I would, I mean, her kit revolves around doing damage. She doesn't really help her allies, it's just more dealing damage, if memory serves me right. And so for this reason, I would just slap on a sigil that will help her damage output. So in this case, I have Whale Echo. Get it to like level 60, get her to level 60 so that she can equip all the models. And I have Alphabet Soup on her, but if you wanted to actually properly invest in her, I would probably either go 4-piece nature, and so nature, yeah, 4-piece nature and 2-piece block chance. I think that would be a good balance of offense and defense, because you're really not running her for damage, because you already have Dawalin. I would run her more defensively, that way you have a fully intact team that doesn't die in one shot, and this will allow you to survive long enough for your DPSs to do what they need to do to clear the stage. Yeah. So I personally would go either 4-piece nature, 2-piece block chance, or 4-piece block chance, 2-piece HP if you're going the survival route. And you can build her. I would personally build her defensively, or just go with whatever you've got. I wouldn't waste resources on her because she will get replaced eventually. So that pretty much wraps it up for the nature category. I know this is short and sweet. Thank you guys so much for watching. I think my next video topic will be on Arena, which is a very important game mode in my opinion. So stay tuned for that. If you would like to support me, please drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video.